Yo, what's going on YouTube? Trevor Reacts here, and shit, we back with another video, a Jaaybo video, and I know Jaaybo has been pretty popular for a minute now, but we just reacted to his Hot Boy song today, and well, most likely I'll post this the next day, so yesterday, and shit, and if a lot of y'all people coming onto my account and don't really know who Jaaybo is, I hope y'all fuck with this video. We got EBK the Jaaybo, EBK Jaaybo the Reaper, by Hip Hop Daily. Just a little like more to know about Jaaybo and all that shit, how he grew up and fucking how he made it up and his jail life and all that shit most likely. So shit, let's get into it. Uh, this shit is pretty fucking popular, but I've seen a lot of videos by Hip Hop Daily about all the people blowing up and shit.
EBK
So
Jaaybo is one of the hottest rappers
let's
on
get
the
into
West
this
Coast
shit.
right now. He keeps catching gun charges.
Educational
And today we're
purposes.
diving
Hope
into
y'all
his
learned
wild
something
come
new
up
today.
and the deadly
Very
war
good to do
going
that.
on that makes him stay strapped up at all times. EBK Jaaybo was born and raised in the southeast area of Stockton around 2100 Nightingale Avenue.
You know, we ain't from Nightingale, but we're from Stockton over here. So if y'all didn't know that, I'm from Stockton. So shit, me and him was next door neighbors, best buddies, and all that
2100
shit.
Nightingale Avenue. He said that back in the day when he was a kid, the southeast wasn't that crazy and everyone was just focused on hustling and making money instead of gangbanging. But that all changed when Jaaybo
A
and
whole
his
bunch
homies
of
came
hood
up.
dudes,
Jaaybo hopped off a
all
porch when he was
cousins.
around 12 years old and
I
started
know they're
stealing
like
cars
all
and breaking
cousins
into
and
houses.
shit.
He got caught robbing a crib when he was like 14, and Jaaybo tried to do the raise
Damn,
and drive
14. Him catching charges as young as 14 years old. These men running into houses trying to steal and shit. What
cars
the
and
fuck is
breaking into
going on?
houses. He got caught robbing a crib when he was like 14, and Jaaybo tried to do the race to drive off in a stolen whip. He didn't really
Skitty
know how to
Jaaybo.
drive though, so he just pulled over and let the cops take him to
Those
juvie.
are the
He was
days.
in and out of juvie on little charges
Skinny
from
ass
12 to 15
Jaaybo.
years old, and none of the early cases were that serious. But when he turned 15, Jaaybo caught his first real charge. It's
Damn,
not clear exactly
15.
what went down, but Jaaybo ended
First
up
real
getting
charge
booked
at
for an attempted
15.
murder case.
Sheesh.
Since he was a minor when it happened, there isn't any public info about the situation, and Jaaybo has never talked about it either. When he
Damn.
went to
A
juvie,
little payback
Jaaybo was
there.
running phase all the time and getting into trouble. He
Of
could have
course
been
he
home a
was.
lot earlier, but he said he just wouldn't listen to anyone and kept getting time added for breaking rules on the instant.
This boy's voice. I don't know how like true and real all this shit is, but like it's most of the stuff's probably been out there, like interviews and shit he's talked about and all that. But shit, this man's voice is cracking me up though. I cannot take this shit seriously.
He actually graduated from high school while he was locked up, but Jaaybo was working on music at the same time.
Yeah, I do that one too.
He had been rapping his whole life, but never really took it seriously. Back in the day, he would pound on tables at school and freestyle for the homies though. Everyone around him knew he had
Of course.
skills, but Jaaybo was neck deep in the trenches and wasn't even thinking about becoming a
That
rapper.
boy's neck deep in
What
them
a lot of Jaaybo's fans
trenches.
don't know is that his dad was actually a poppin' rapper in Stockton back in the day.
Yeah, Rari.
Rari came up on Nightingale Avenue too. His mom was addicted to drugs the whole time he was growing up, and his dad was always going in and out of jail. So
That's a
Rari
tough
was
way to
mostly
grow
raised by
up
his
though, I'm
grandma.
not gonna lie.
Rari's grandma.
Bruh, imagine your mom just fucking like drugged out of her mind, fucking always on drugs, and then your dad just in and out of jail. So you don't really got no parent, no father figure, no mom figure in your life. And then a lot of people do grow up with their grandparents, and that's damn near a normal thing nowadays. Is to not grow up with like your parents and grow up with like family, the other parts of your family. But that is a tough way of growing up. I'm not gonna lie, that shit does lead you down a wrong pathway and makes you learn things a different way and all types of all that shit, bro.
Was really strict with him back in the day and did her best to keep Rari out of the streets. Growing up in her house, he couldn't even listen to rap because his grandma didn't like all the swearing. But Rari still ended up in the trenches. He started breaking into houses and getting into
That boy
trouble.
still grew up in the
But what really changed
trenches.
everything for him is when Rari found a local rapper's tape in an abandoned house he broke into with his homies. Nobody knows who the artist was, but it was the first time Rari heard anyone shouting out Stockton on a song. And that's what made him want to hop in the booth and become a rapper. Another big reason he wanted to get out of the trenches was losing his homies to gun violence. Back in 2002, Rari was chilling on the block with his friend Aaron Vickers and some other dudes. Earlier that day, Rari and Aaron had seen cars go by for a funeral and were talking about how they wouldn't want to go through losing a homie like that. And just a few hours later,
Damn.
Rari watched Aaron die right in front of him. While they were standing on the street, someone pulled through and started letting off shots. Bullets went everywhere and put holes in the crib they were
Damn.
standing in front of. But Aaron was the only one who got hit. Seeing his
R.P.
best
Aaron.
friend get killed like that made Rory realize he needed to switch things up. And that's when he really started going hard with the music. But just like Jaaybo,
W.
Rory's trouble with the cops kept getting in the way of his rap career. One time he was on
That's one thing. Jaaybo needs to stay out of jail, bro. Like, he's popular right now, but I'd be saying this to my homies. I feel like he'll be 100 times bigger if he stayed out of jail, because when he's in jail, his team does do a good job. His management team do a good job of dropping music videos, and make sure like his name stays floating around, because he's locked up until 2025. Now we're halfway through 2024, so like we're getting there, but you never know what the fuck could happen with his trial or his case or whatever he got. His fucking I think it's a gun case again. So this man just needs to stay out of jail and focus on music, bro, and shit will change your life, bro. I'm not like for real though. He needs to stay out of jail. That's all I'm saying.
About a record deal. Rory had been gangbanging, but really wanted to switch up how he moved and make it out of the streets with music. But his parole officer said he couldn't go to Atlanta. Rory knew it was a huge opportunity though, so he took the risk and went out to Atlanta without telling his PO. Unfortunately,
but right there, that looks like this hella looks like Jaaybo right here.
Rory knew it was a huge opportunity though, so he took the risk
right here.
and went out to Atlanta.
This looks like Jaaybo like a motherfucker, bro. Like what? This hella looks like Jaaybo right here. His dad.
His PO. Unfortunately, the deal didn't work out for him though, and to make it even worse, his parole officer found out about the trip, and Rory got booked again for violating his parole. Rory still didn't let it stop his grind though. He came back home and went right back to work. He started investing his own money into the rap game and set up his own studio. He even taught himself how to make beats, so he wouldn't have to wait around for other producers to send him their tracks. It took a while to get his name popping, but eventually all the hard work paid off.
I damn near already knew about this shit, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm reacting to this shit for y'all.
Up with other rappers in the city like Tall T. Tall T was a battle rapper from Stockton who was getting a lot of buzz on his name. He had been in the underground scene for
I didn't even know about Tall T though.
Really pop off. But then in 2012, he was brutally murdered in broad daylight.
At a park?
He was sitting in Long Park with his girlfriend when someone came up and tapped him on the shoulder. Then Tall T turned around and they upped the strap and shot him in the face. Nobody knows what a shooter wanted.
That is tragic. I'm not gonna lie. Dying like that.
Loss for the Stockton rap game. The shooting also had a big impact on Rory. He'd only known Tall T for like a year before he was killed, but they got super close and were in the studio together all the time. Rory was still on probation and trying to stay out of trouble. And he said that Tall T is the one who really pushed him to stay on the grind and keep focused in the rap game. Rory was also trying to get Jaaybo involved with music.
Jaaybo right there.
Jaaybo was just a kid, but Rory would bring him to the studio and have him sing on tracks whenever Rory had an R&B artist pull through and record.
Bro, imagine growing up like that. Your dad's a rapper and shit, and he's blowing, like he's getting a buzz for his name, like he's getting known and shit, and you just growing up in the studio with all these other rappers. But I feel like that's a cool ass way to grow up. I'm not gonna lie, but not that like his dad's a rapper though, so like that boy in and out of jail, not that part, but like growing up around other rapper, R&B artists, and all that shit's tough. I'm not gonna lie.
Rory was making all the right moves and was finally on his way up in the industry, but then he was tragically murdered while trying to protect his kids. It's not clear exactly how it went down. Rory was making all the right moves and was finally on his way up in the industry, but then he was tragically murdered.
Damn, that's tragic. Is that the fame right there?
While trying to protect his kids. It's not clear exactly how it went down, but this is the story according to some sources. When Jaaybo was around 11 years old, some teenagers in the hood robbed him and his brother. Rory had just finished 7 years of probation and was really trying to stay out of trouble, but he wasn't going to let someone just rob his kids and get away with it. So Rory allegedly tracked the teenagers down to press them about it. Nobody knows what really happened next, but after Rory found him, one of the teenagers allegedly pulled out a gun and killed Rory on the spot.
Damn, imagine a kid doing that.
Everything for Jaaybo.
He just robbed you and your brother, and then your dad goes try to press the situation, and then you ain't never hear from your dad again. Like, he died right there, supposedly. That is tragic. I'm not gonna lie. You gotta get a get back. You gotta punish that dude for years. I'm not gonna lie.
If Rory was still alive and made it in the music industry, there's no telling what kind of life Jaaybo would have had. But after Rory was killed, it didn't take long for Jaaybo to jump off the porch and get active. Eventually,
Jump off
Jaaybo
the
hopped
porch
in the
and get
booth and started
active.
dropping music. He was working with a company called Thizzler on the roof, and they were
Uh-huh,
really trying to
Thizzler.
push Jaaybo into the industry. He was running up millions of views on YouTube, but he had too much going on in the streets to really focus on the rap game, and that's how he ended up back in jail. Even though he wasn't even trying to make it in
Back
the
in
industry,
jail
Jaaybo was getting a lot of
again
buzz
and
on his name on the West
again and
Coast.
again.
Stockton doesn't have a huge rap scene, but Jaaybo and his homies were kicking off a new wave that was getting a lot of attention in the city. A
A
lot of them were
lot of
popping off for
attention.
rap, but behind the music was a bloody war with their ops in the street. EBK has only been around for a few years, but they're already one of the most notorious crews in the city. They say that they're just a rap
They had a
collective
breakup
running
and
raw
all
for the
that, but they back
streets,
together
but
and
the
all that
cops
shit.
officially classified them as a gang back in 2018. It's
Damn.
not clear how much work Jaaybo was putting in for the crew, but since 2019, they've been making all kinds of headlines for turning Stockton into a war zone. Back in 2019, a dude named Ronald
A war
Celestine was
zone.
shot and killed in a drive-by. Reports say it was two EBK affiliates who pulled the trigger, and 3 days later, they spun through his hood again and shot up a candlelight vigil that Ronald's family put on. 5 people were hurt during the shooting at the vigil, and one of them tragically didn't make it out alive. Ronald's cousin Benny Lott wasn't affiliated with the streets at all and just came to the vigil to honor his cousin. But the streets of Stockton are so crazy that you can't even go to a funeral without worrying about getting shot.
That's
Cops
tragic.
ended up
Oh
arresting
God.
2 EBK affiliates named Brian Norman and Raymoni Gaines for the shooting. EBK had a lot of heat on them after Ronald and Benny's deaths, but just 2 days after the shooting at the vigil, they allegedly slid into North Stockton and hit up 2 more ops.
Shooting at a
The
funeral
police
is
had a lot
crazy.
of pressure to cool the streets off, and a few months later, they ended up booking 9 EBK affiliates for murder, robbery, and a bunch of other charges. Everything calmed down for a while after that, but then a whole new wave of violence sparked up and tore Stockton apart. Before Jaaybo started blowing up, the first dude affiliated with EBK who was buzzing in the rap
Slowby.
game was a dude named Young Slowby. Young Slowby was on the grind for years before he started popping. He had to invest a lot of cash in his own career before anyone was even paying attention, but eventually it all started coming together. Slow was making a lot of noise in Stockton, but he really leveled up when he got tight with the rapper from Sacramento named
Briss.
Briss.
That boy
Slow and
Slowby
Briss
is
both
tough
came
as
up
a
in the
motherfucker.
trenches and had a lot
And
of
Briss.
chemistry in the booth. And their track 2142 popped off and ran up
Tough
millions of
ass shit
streams.
right there.
Briss had been rapping for a long time too, but the link up with Slows would change everything for both of them. They had plans to take over the West Coast together, but what nobody knew back then is that they were both about to lose their lives to the trenches. While Slow and Briss were linking up and putting on for the West Coast, Briss was beefing with 2 other rappers from Sacramento named Uzi Marcus and Mozzie. Briss had personal beef
damn,
with
I
Uzi
forgot
Marcus
about that.
because they both had history with the same girl, and Uzi made the drama public when he dissed Briss on the track 42K and rapped, "Keep it real, you niggas ain't killed the fly, and if it's money on my head, why the fuck I'm still alive? You niggas ain't popping shit, they really just talking shit. Where they at? I'm right here on 42nd with the stick. Lil Briss,
Damn.
he a pussy, and Lil Danny,
Damn.
he a bitch.
Oh,
Keep playing. I'll
fuck.
be outside your granny's with the switch."
Oh, that's
Briss
fucked
had
up,
issues
man.
with
What the
Mozzie
fuck?
because he was homies with a rapper from Sacramento named CML Lavish D.
That does sound
Lavish
hard
D
though,
and
I'm not
Mozzie
gonna
had been
lie.
going back and forth for years, and both sides had taken losses in the beef. After Mozzie dissed Lavish D, his homie Zilla Zoe was murdered first. Then a few months later, his homie Jacoby James was killed too. Lavish D's homie Stunner D was killed next, and that's when Briss allegedly got caught up in the beef
Hella
too.
homies dying out here,
Rumors said
man.
that Mozzie's crew was still trying to even the score, and they caught up to Briss in June 2020 while he was driving down the street. Someone started letting off shots, and Briss crashed into a pole. He hopped out of the car and tried to run away, but
Aw.
unfortunately, Briss wasn't fast enough. And he bombed shot
Oh,
him to death.
wasn't fast enough. Hey, why he gotta add that in there? He wasn't fast enough.
Briss's death had a major impact on young Slowby, but he was still trying to keep the momentum up and stay on his grind. And a year after Briss died, Slow really hit the mainstream when his track "I Love You" went viral on TikTok. It looked like he was going to be one of the first
Shit was
rappers
hella
from Stockton
viral.
to really go up in the industry. But then in 2022, young Slowby was found dead in the street. Rumors say that both their deaths were tied into the beef with Mozzie and CML Lavish D. And there's a good chance that Slow was killed by EBK's ops in Stockton. EBK's biggest ops are a set called Trap Mob, aka Flyboy. Jaaybo's been sending shots at them ever since he hopped in the booth. Like on
Damn.
the track The Apocalypse, when he raps, "Up it on the biggest nigga moving. I'm a Glock lifter, a shot sender, and I'm spanking any mob member. And, hey brother, get up on that hoe, and I'ma knock sister. Fuck the mob.
The song
I
is
told
hella
y'all keep
tough.
my name up out y'all cock lickers." Rumors say
Damn.
Trap Mob might have been involved with young Slowby's death, and Jaaybo aired him out about it on the track Slowby Mode. Jaaybo was locked up when Slowby was killed, and on the track, he raps, "It's not a nigga around me loafing, everybody strapped. Just left Scribner Street, where was everybody at? And I'm with Rico from the 10 when niggas come to sack. And aha, a flag just got squashed, bring your brother back. Suckers killed Slow B, now I'm home, another tomato coming." What's really weird about the situation with young Slowby and Briz
Another
is that
tomato.
Jaaybo was still bumping Mozzie's music on social media. There's nothing tying Mozzie to Slow's death, but a lot of fans are confused because Briz was beefing with Mozzie when he died, and young Slowby was super tight with Briz. Then when people were dissing Jaaybo for not sliding after young Slowby died, he hopped on IG and dissed Mozzie's dead homie K Squeeze. K Squeeze allegedly killed another rapper named Lil Jody Woe. Then one day
Oh, Lil
later,
Jody.
K Squeeze was shot to death too. Jaaybo wasn't just sending shots on songs on social media though. He's known for throwing hands every time he gets locked up too. Once he was
Oh,
locked up in
God.
county with a massive op named Seawalk, who everyone was allegedly scared to fight, but Jaaybo didn't back down from the fade. During an IG live session, Jaaybo said that Seawalk dissed him right when he got to jail, but they couldn't fight because the yard was hot, so they planned to run the fade the next day.
What's up, nigga? He like, yeah, I'm Seawalk, cuz townhomes. Da-da-da. I'm like, nigga, I'm Jaaybo, Southeast, nigga, EBK. The nigga like, nigga, fuck the Southeast. I'm like, damn. So we get to the yard or whatever the case may be, bro. He like, bro,
Damn.
it's high right now, so we gonna fade in the morning, bro. Or unless you wanna go to the hoe. I'm like, bro, I ain't trying to go to the hoe. We gonna fade tomorrow.
Jaaybo admitted that Seawalk beat him, but during the fight, Jaaybo ended up scratching Seawalk's eye.
So we get on the yard. I ain't gonna lie, he with me. Sure, he shake my hand like, yep, on my mama, I respect you. He like, but you scratch my eye, cuz you want to go again? And I keep it a band. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, bro. We can program. He with me again. I ain't gonna lie. Blood with me again.
A lot of dudes don't
Blood
admit
whoop
to
me
ever losing
again.
the fight.
And that's it
Jaaybo
though. He
knows
be
that if
admitting
you're really
it
throwing
if he
down like
get
that all the time, you
if he
can't
be
move
getting
on.
beat. He be
A
admitting
lot
it.
of people were clowning his homie, EBK Young Jock, for getting his chain snatched last year too. But Jaaybo said
Damn,
just
what the
because you get
fuck?
robbed one time doesn't mean anything.
Shit happens, you feel me? That don't tarnish a nigga gangster.
Bruh, that shit, it just looks like they just took that shit off of him and just walked off and he ain't even do nothing about it. What the fuck,
Snatched
Jock?
last year too. But Jaaybo said just
The
because you
hell?
get robbed one time doesn't mean anything.
Shit happens, you feel me? That don't tarnish a nigga gangster or tarnish a nigga image just because a nigga got something took from him. I'm not saying that it's cool to get something took from you either. You feel me? But when you slip up, shit like that happens.
Some fans were surprised that Jaaybo was standing up for Young Jock though, because there used to be some tension in the EBK group. According to rumors, Jock's older brother, Hari B, snitched on the case with EBK Osama and got him locked up. It's not clear exactly what went down, but it caused a lot of issues in the crew, and Jaaybo even dissed Hari B on the track and raps, "Hari turned rat, he couldn't take the hit. They told that nigga 20 years, he started eating cheese." Luckily, they were able to squash everything though. But before they could really focus on putting EBK on the map in the rap game, Jaaybo ended up getting locked up again. In April 2023, Jaaybo caught a bunch of gun charges and was in jail for another 6 months before they let him out on bail. This time when he came back home, Jaaybo said he was really
His most
tightening up
recent
how
time.
he moved. He ended up getting out of Stockton and was way more focused on the rap game too. A lot of his music used to leak back in the day because he'd have a bunch of homies in the studio with him and the tracks would end up on the internet before they were supposed to. But Jaaybo told No Jumper he was getting way more serious about rapping and being more professional in the studio.
Like
It
he's
looked
supposed
like Jaaybo was
to.
ready to go all in on his music and leave the street drama behind. But then in January 2024, news broke that EBK Jaaybo was back in jail for the gun charges he got booked for in 2023. Nobody knows why Jaaybo got locked up again, but it's probably over a probation violation. The judge didn't even want to give him bail last time because he had so many priors on his record. So if Jaaybo did violate the bond, he'll probably be sitting behind bars till he goes to trial or takes a plea deal. Hopefully the case doesn't go left for him though. Jaaybo
God,
is buzzing
hopefully
more than
not.
ever in the rap game right now and has serious potential to really put Stockton on the map if he beats these charges and stays focused.
That's crazy. He's really in jail right now. That man is really in jail right now as we speak, bro. That shit is tragic. Oh, that's it. Damn. Well, fuck. That was the story of Jaaybo, how he's grown up, his dad, and all that shit, his childhood, how it's going now, all his jail shit, and all that. I hope y'all fuck with this video, learn a little more about Jaaybo. Like, comment, subscribe. Go fuck with my TikTok, run up the views, run up subscribers on this, on my Trevor Reacts YouTube, because we are doing the $100 Visa giveaway at 200 subs. So we only at 26, 27, slowly getting there. I need to be more consistent. I will be doing that. But yeah, 200 subs. Y'all got to get me up to 200 subs. Then we're doing the $100 Visa card giveaway. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe down below. And until next time, see you.